Hello, pixelenemyRevive. It's SoggyFlapjackes here again. It's been quite a while actually since I posted on this channel, and that's mainly due to the fact that I have had some PC troubles, which is quite ironic in itself because actually the topic of this video is actually going to be PC gaming and kind of me giving the rundown on what exactly it is and how you can get into it and, you know, how to introduce yourself to it, because to many people it is a very intimidating prospect to get into PC gaming, which is why console gaming is so popular. So right off the bat, I'd quickly like to start out as to why console gaming is more popular than PC gaming. As when I say more popular, it's not exactly its approval rating, but more so why more people do it, and that's mainly because of the cost aspect. And I mean, it's probably a well-known fact that PC gaming initially is more expensive. However, I think you have to look at it at your fun per dollar. And that's really where PC gaming comes into hand. Now, then again, people do build super machines as far as PCs go, and I'll get into that in a little bit because there is a wide price range of PCs and PC components, more importantly, that vary from user to user. So you can really customize your PC to how you want it, or you can buy it on an already pre-made retailer, which I will talk about right now. So there are two ways to really go about getting a PC. You can build your own one, or you can buy it online from somebody who already builds it for you. I guess you could also say there's a third one. There's also, you know, companies that actually build them for you, but they're custom built ones, so it is cheaper. It's kind of like the middle ground between a pre-built one like Dell or Alienware and then a custom one that you build yourself. However, in my opinion, and if you're following with the rest of the PC crowd, I would strongly recommend that you build a computer. It is going to turn out to be the most cost-effective, and in most cases you are going to be able to get a significantly better performing computer for a much lower price. Now, this mainly can be attributed to the fact that the online e-tailers really offer a lot of good rebates and incentives for the people to buy their parts separately. And also, you are paying the premium because they're building it for you, so you are taking a little bit out of the cost out of it when you do it yourself. Plus, another important thing is you actually learn how the computer works. It's actually a really interesting thing to see and to learn about, and you certainly develop your computer and PC skills just from building the computer. Now, to start PC gaming, you are obviously going to need a PC. Now, to build a PC, I'll basically give it the rundown right now, the parts you're going to need. I'll list it in the description what parts you're going to need. You are going to need a case, hopefully, for your computer, although you technically don't even need a case. You can have an open bed system where you place the motherboard, which I will discuss in a little bit, and the rest of your components onto just your table, basically. However, that isn't really as optimal for the PC components, as it doesn't provide enough protection from dust, because hopefully in your case you have dust filters and you can clean that stuff out and keep your components running fresh. So before I continue with that, sorry, I guess I have a little ADD, I forgot to introduce the gameplay. We're playing a little bit of Conquest Assault, I believe it is, on Strike at Karkin, and I'm using the PP19 with a Cobra red dot sight, and this PP19 I just have found to love because it has such a long magazine or clip. I'm pretty sure it's magazine, and it's got that weird kind of squirt gun magazine, but I really like this gun. It's on the engineer class. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's not on the engineer class. It's a PDW, so this can be used in all classes. However, I prefer to use it in the engineer class because Strike at Karkin does have a lot of vehicles. So let's get back to PC gaming. So the main components of your PC, you are going to need an optical drive, which is basically your disk drive, where you put all your disks in. You are going to need a hard drive or an SSD, which I'll talk about in a second. So you're going to need a hard drive and an SSD optimally, but you can really just run on a hard drive. Currently, I'm just running on a hard drive. You're going to need a CPU or a central processing unit processor, and then you need a graphics processor if you want to be gaming, that is. And a graphics processor is probably the most important component, that coupled with the RAM or memory of your computer, and obviously your processor. So the thing about it is, let me just give the rundown on processors really quickly. The graphics processor, there's two companies. There's AMD and NVIDIA. Those are the two developers of graphics processors in PC gaming and just PC graphics processing units in general. And generally speaking, these companies don't actually produce the cards themselves. They produce the chipsets and actual core of the chips. However, you'll find a wide variety of different companies building these chips, as it proves that it's much more cost effective for NVIDIA to contract and just to basically sell out their chips and the rights to produce their chips to different companies. So you know, some examples might be Sapphire, XFX, I don't know, Galaxy, Gigabyte, and so on and so forth, Asus, and yeah, that kind of thing. As far as processors, CPUs go, so central processing units, there's two main companies. There's Intel and AMD. Now, generally speaking, price per dollar, if you get a high-end Intel, or sorry, a high-end AMD, that will normally perform around the same area as a mid-range Intel. Now, generally speaking, the gamer's processor has been the i5 2500K and i7 2600K. However, I've gone with the AMD 1100T X6 Phenom 2 processor. Now, that's basically the last generation top-of-the-line AMD processor. Now, you probably want to know what's the difference between these processors. Really, it all comes down to just they're from different companies, and AMD's per core definitely perform worse. However, the 1100T that I have, the AMD one, it's clocked at 3.2 gigahertz, and 3.3 gigahertz, and gigahertz is the clock speed, and that's basically how fast your processor runs at each core. However, that doesn't necessarily determine the speed of each core. There is a lot of factors that go into that. Now, Intel, I would actually recommend that you go with at this point in time, unless you're really looking to build a full AMD system. Intel is probably the way to go, as they do make fantastic processors, and I really wouldn't recommend going Extreme Edition. But basically, my main recommendation for PC gaming as of now, and if you want to build a PC and get into PC gaming, is really do your research. I'm just giving you the basic rundown of stuff, but you know, go on Newegg, go on Linus Tech Tips, stuff like this that I watch, and you know, just learn about PC gaming and learn about what you can do to kind of get into it, because it's really, really a vast world of stuff that I cannot even begin to describe. I mean, you really have to see it for yourself and really determine what you need. As far as buying games online, because I'm sure you guys are curious about that, there's a few online retailers, or e-tailers as they're called, that you can purchase your games on, like Steam or EA's Origin. And EA's Origin is basically where you would be playing Battlefield 3. However, Battlefield 3 on the PC is actually launched on an in-game web browser, which has received a lot of mixed reviews on the PC realm of things, because really you need an internet connection to access Battlefield 3, which is somewhat frustrating. However, obviously, for most PC games, you are going to need an internet connection in the first place. However, there are a lot of viable options you have for single-player gaming, which are a lot of fun that you can be having. And, yeah, you can certainly delve into that realm if you choose to do so. Now, basically, as far as the thing you want to be looking at first when you're getting a PC is you want to look at your budget. I don't know who's paying the bills for this, whether it's your mom or dad or your uncle or grandma or yourself if you have a job, or you know, you're an adult living on your own. Personally, I'm not, but I did pay for my PC since I earned the money for it. So, the thing you want to be looking at is what your budget is. And you actually, in my opinion, you really want to set out just a clear-cut budget, like how much money you have to spend on the total system itself. Once you have done so, then you want to be doing research based on what kind of fits into your budget and what you can afford and what not to. Now, personally, when it comes to building a gaming PC, once you find your budget, you really, really want to just clear up as much money as possible, in my opinion, to get the best performance gaming-wise. You just want to clear up as much money possible as you can for the CPU and GPU of your PC. Now, the thing is, memory or RAM is important to gaming. You probably should go with at least 4 gigabytes. However, memory is extremely cheap these days. You can get 8 gigabytes for around $35, $40 on several different online retailers. And really, the thing that's going to be hitting you hard in the wallet is definitely your processor and your graphics processor. Now, you might be wondering, why is it so important to get these things? And, well, what if I just get a really good processor and a somewhat decent graphics card? Now, if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to be bottlenecking one of your one of your components or the other. Sorry about that, I kind of had a blank. And what a bottleneck means is basically when one part is slower than the other part, it's just going to kind of, it's going to just play down to its performance, basically. And when that happens, basically, you're not getting the most out of your components, and you're really just, you kind of wasted some money. So what you want to do is you want to get parts that complement each other. Now, most cases, if you get a somewhat decent processor, it will normally always outperform the graphics processor, because core processing units, or CPUs, as I said before, will generally just perform better than the graphics processor. So if you're getting a single card system, if you're getting an i5 2500K or 2600K, generally speaking, you will not be bottlenecked by your processor. You'll generally have a GPU bottleneck, which is normally what you want to go for, because it is much easier to upgrade a graphics processing unit than a core processing unit, because you have to swap out the chipset on the motherboard. Now, I've used the term motherboard quite a bit in this commentary, and the motherboard is basically the hub for all your computer. It's basically where all your components are going. It's like this big silicon platter box, if you will, that you just throw all your components onto, and please don't throw them onto, I didn't mean that way, but by the way, as far as building this computer goes, just go online. There's plenty of tutorials on how to do it, and it's truly a lot of fun once you get going. Now, another thing I alluded to is upgrading. Now, the great thing about PC gaming, and one of the advantages it poses, is you can upgrade your components as time goes on, which is absolutely fantastic, because basically the advantages of PC gaming are it's a constantly evolving market in which you can be getting better graphics. The graphics on Battlefield 3 are phenomenal on PC. I can run at max settings because I have a GTX 580. Now, if you want to know the full specs of my computer, I guess you can, come check out my channel, if you will. Sorry, that was a kind of failed plugin. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, so the great thing about PC gaming is there's a very tight-knit community, and also it's very easy to upgrade your PC. Now, obviously, there's a ton more advantages than this. I'm sure you can do more research if you would like to, and really, there's no better time to get into PC gaming than now, as the PC market has been growing recently, which is awesome to see. And I recently got into it about a year and a half ago, which is actually really, really nice, and I've actually enjoyed it since, because I used to be on Xbox, and I've truly enjoyed the Switch, as it provides me a lot more flexibility and accessibility to my games, as Xbox does have an on-demand game service, but it's nowhere near as extensive as something like Steam, or I guess EA's Origin is. And there's also lots of free-to-play games that you can get into, and also World of Warcraft and StarCraft, a bunch of huge, massive games that are only available on the PC. Minecraft, obviously, just fantastic games that I'm sure you guys would be very interested in playing. However, for some of these games, you really don't need an advanced computer. You need an advanced computer for something like Battlefield 3. So, yeah, another thing is with your graphics processing unit, when you're deciding to choose it, basically, you want to make sure, just in a nutshell, make sure your processor does not bottleneck it, and make sure your graphics processor is, more than adequate. In most cases, you also want to be getting a graphics processor that can handle the resolution you're playing at. So don't go out there and buy a 2560 by 1600 resolution monitor and then get a GTX 550T or something like that. Is that even a card? I'm not sure. 540 GT or something like that. Don't get that, because really your card won't be powerful enough to be running these games. I am running at 1920 by 1080 with a GTX 580. That actually really suits the GTX 580's potential. I'm running on max settings, however, I'm only getting 58, 61-ish frames per second without fraps, which is really all I need, because when I'm recording it drops down to 40 to 45-ish, and it can dip, and basically, it's really suited to the resolution I'm playing at. So when you're getting a graphics processor, just do some research onto what most people are using, what most resolutions are being played at with that card. And another thing you guys are probably wondering is, if I'm, into PC gaming, can I post videos on YouTube? Well, that is definitely possible, and I encourage it, because it is much, much, much easier to get into YouTube through PC gaming and recording than through console gaming, because console gaming you have to buy the Hop-Hog HD PVR, which is much more expensive than Fraps, and Fraps is basically your recording program, or your Hop-Hog for the PC, which is awesome, and I use it, and most people on YouTube do. I would pretty much assume that most YouTubers who use PC gaming use Fraps. It costs about $30, and if you want to get into that, you can certainly go ahead and do so. Another thing I want to talk about quickly was hard drives or SSDs. A hard drive basically has a moving platter, and first, by the way, hard drives and SSDs, they're both manners or ways in which you can store data on your computer. However, SSDs have a much higher price per gigabyte, however they are much faster. That's basically the general gist. SSD stands for solid state drive, and hard drive is a mechanical hard drive. It has a moving platter, however it generally has a lot more capacity. So I would definitely not just buy an SSD. If you have the money, I would buy an SSD for your boot drive and to store your operating system on, and then have your hard drive store all your games, photos, just use it as a storage drive and whatnot. So another thing I'd like to go back and talk about is why PC gaming, the possible cons of it. I mean, honestly, I don't find many cons in it myself. I guess some people do complain that there are some driver issues, and honestly, it's not really as plug and play easy as consoles are. You don't just plug it in and it all just works. You do have to, go around, get right graphics drivers and get drivers for your motherboards and different programs you're using. However, really, in my opinion, PC gaming is just so far and above and beyond superior to console gaming. However, I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that's my opinion. So please don't troll in the comment section below, because honestly, I play on console too, and I do enjoy it very much. It's a very fun time, and both of them are good platforms to play on. I'm just trying to inform you guys on how you can get into PC gaming. Now, I'm not sure if I can even do this on pixelenemyRevive. Basically, I'll just say it right now. You can go on to microcenter.com, Newegg, TigerDirect.com, I think it is, or NCIX.com. These are all online e-tailers. I'll leave a few links in the description if Mr. Don't Blink allows me to, and you guys can go check that out, because honestly, I really would like to see the PC community grow even more, even just through this one video, because honestly, I just love to see communities grow, and that's really what gaming is all about, is kind of getting together with friends and having a good time, squatting up and doing so. And squatting up, if you're wondering, in Battlefield 3, particularly on the PC, is fairly easy because you go through the in-game battle log, and then I normally prefer to have my voice chat over Skype, because Skype provides a very good voice quality, which is really unmatched even in consoles, because I don't know why Skype just has very good audio codecs, and I don't know how I committed suicide there. There you see I'm raging in the comments. I don't know why. I just need to settle down, but whatever. Regardless, another advantage is, since you're probably watching this on pixelenemyRevive, Battlefield 3 on PC, its leading platform was PC, and for that reason, Battlefield 3 is kick-ass on PC. Now, as Mr. Don't Blink said once again, there is a mega patch coming out for it, which is going to make the game much more playable and much more fun, so hopefully I can see you guys run out there and get a PC this instant. No, I'm kidding, but I encourage you guys to get one. But 64-player Conquest is a hell of a lot of fun if you're playing some close matches and having a blast with it, and squatting up, doing your fun thing. So if you guys have any comments, any responses, comments, questions, I'm sure I missed something in this video, because really, honestly, 20 minutes can't even cover all of this. My best recommendation for you guys is do your research and ask questions, and I will be in the comment section below through my SoggyFlapjackes account name, and I will be responding to all your questions and hopefully being able to help you guys. Please come check out my channel, because I would love if you guys would do that, as I'm doing lots of PC gaming. So thanks for posting this, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Check out my channel, and well, yeah, see you guys later.